What is this? A Heresy Thursday not for ants? Do you see what I did there? Well, a terrible intro. If you're feeling aged by that reference, then you probably should, because that film's old as hell now. Look, it's Heresy Thursday. It's Heresy Thursday, and it's nothing to do with tiny lads, or tiny tanks, or tiny lads in tiny tanks, or transporting tiny tanks in larger, or at least normal-sized tanks. Well, not normal, because I imagine normal-sized would be an actual tank as opposed to a model of a tank. Instead, there's a very, very fancy Thousand Suns Librarian Consul. This is the man himself. What even was the start of this video? Anyway, this is the Thousand Suns Librarian Consul, and my first impression when I saw this, admittedly, was, oh my god, it's so good. The thing is, it's quite busy, right? There's quite a lot going on, but there are some legions where I just don't care. It's so, like, the double standard is real. The double standard is horrendous, because there are some models I look at and I'm like, alright, there's a lot for the eye to fix on here, and it's just really quite busy. And also, I will admit, like, full on, straight up, that double standard also applies to me, right? I mean, there's the stupid six-wing murder chicken over there, and there's all the, like, eldritch horrors over there, and my Soulblight Gravelord have got a lot going on as well. Like, I'm fully aware that when I make a model, when I kit bash something, 9 times out of 10, it's visually kind of confusing. But I somehow still complain when Games Workshop do it. I think the main thing is that when I do it, it's because I'm choosing to do it that way, and it's usually to give the effect of, what am I looking at? It's like a bit of that kind of Lovecraftian, overwhelming, you know, something strange and something that shouldn't be, that kind of thing. I'm making the choice to do that to something that I've made. Whereas when Games Workshop does it, you don't have any choice but to have it that way because there are no alternatives. It just arrives too busy for your eye to take in. And I think that's probably why I dislike it when they do it, but I'm okay with me doing it, because I'm a massive hypocrite. I've also totally forgotten how that sentence started and how it was supposed to end. That was it. Look, there are some legions where I just don't mind them being quite busy. Thousand Suns is one, Blood Angels is another, and I have to say Space Wolves as well, they get a pass. Ultramarines a little bit, but I always feel like Ultramarines kind of, they sort of like straddle the line a bit. Some of them can be very busy and overbearing, some of them are relatively plain, but I feel like a nice middle ground for them suits. When it comes to like Thousand Suns, Blood Angel, Space Wolves, just the sheer amount of ornamentation and stuff that goes onto them, I just don't really have a problem with. For some reason, it feels kind of appropriate for those legions, whether it's a bunch of fur and a bunch of talismans and like little symbols and little kind of, you know, little runic stones and bones and that sort of thing. It just suits the sort of what should be a more Viking look for the Space Wolves as opposed to just wolfy look. For Blood Angels and Thousand Suns, they just feel like they need, like, regalia. They need detail. They need ornamentation. They need ostentation. And this kind of feels like that. It is quite ostentatious. It is quite over the top, very heavily decorated. Like the breastplate of, I think it's Mark 4? Mark 4? Is it Mark 6? Hang on, do they say? Wearing ornate armour that... No, they don't say. Look, whatever it is, the scarab over the breastplate with the wings spreading out, then you've got that nice kind of, it looks like cloth, but it could also be parchment that is draped over each side. The fact that that's then decorated with these kind of gold end caps with a sort of flame motif, it's so extra. There's so much going on. The greaves have got little decorations on them as well. And like the leg armour at the top, that like, again, the winged motif that's kind of echoing what's on the breastplate, it's very, very like overly decorated, but it just kind of looks really cool. You've obviously got to have that crest on the helmet as well. I can never remember what that's called. I think there's an actual specific name for that style of like decoration. Is it a neem? A neem? Is that what it is? I don't know. I'll Google it later. Whatever it is obviously extremely important and kind of core to the whole Thousand Suns look, especially when it comes to important characters, and I really, really like it on here. I have to say that my particular love of it is mostly influenced by the 40k models that for so long have had that decoration going on. It's kind of seared in, isn't it? It's like you think Thousand Suns, you think if you go like top to bottom, you kind of have to start with that ornamentation going on. Even the shoulder pads have got that kind of extra element to them, which is really nice. Also the rolls of parchment down the side, super cool. And I really like the way they've done the cloak. The cloak has been made to be a little bit more robe-like, having it attached just at the shoulders, as well as like under the power pack. That's a nice touch, that's a nice detail. It kind of encloses the console just that little bit more. I like that a lot. The staff is absolutely badass. I love that, absolutely love it. I mean, it's very reminiscent of just a spear, but you've got this kind of four-bladed, almost glaive situation going on. It's a really cool weapon. Relatively plain, but you've still got those few like golden rings, and then there's just a little bit of kind of embellishment going on at the base of the blades themselves. That's really nice. I kind of want that just as a thing to give to random characters, just in general. I really like the shape of that, and given that this is probably going to be resin, I'm assuming, that's a real shame, because I would 100% scour for, you know, multiple of these. It is kind of an in-action pose, but it's not too over the top. There's no tactical rock in sight, which is fantastic. And I do like the fact that although the model is quite heavily ornamented, they haven't gone wild with, like, wind effect or anything. Like, there's a little bit of movement on the cloak, there's a bit of movement on that parchment and the beads that are being held in one hand, but it's not like, it's not overwhelming, it's not like everything's being shoved to the side. So I mean, I really like this, I really like it. Got some nice alternate angles as well. Oh man, I really like that side shot, that looks great. Look at that, you can see more detail on the shoulder pad as well. Yeah, this is a really nice model, this is really nice. I also stand corrected, I really thought that the cloak was under the power pack. It being over the power pack and attached with those little golden scarabs, that's a cool touch. That's actually a really cool touch. Even if it is... Are the things at the bottom of the power pack still vents? I assume they are, right? Or are they intake? Because the ones on the side, those expel heat. But the ones on the bottom, I thought those were where like air was drawn in. I might be wrong. Does it like... No one cares. No one cares about what I'm about to say. You know it, I know it. No one cares about the question I'm about to ask, and I'm going to ask it anyway, and no one wants to know the answer. It doesn't matter. Does having the bottom of the power pack covered affect like the efficiency in terms of the like heat of it? Like does it make it slightly less efficient? Does it need the air coming in from the lower vents to be able to circulate cooling properly, or does that not make a difference? I told you you wouldn't care. I did warn you. I told you you wouldn't care. Regardless of the answer, the cloak looks cool, so whatever. Oh, and he comes with a bare head, but eh. I mean, it's fine. It's fine. It's just, it's not as cool as the helmet, so I don't care. That, to me, that's a good-looking lad. That is a good-looking lad. Nicely done. There you go. New Thousand Sons Librarian Consul. It looks decent. It looks good. I like it. Let me know what you think of that lad in the comments down below. Quick reminder that pretty much every t-shirt I wear at the moment is from Into the AM because people keep asking about it, and there's a link in the description that will get you 10% off if you use it, and they've got a Black Friday sale going on, which is like massive savings across a whole bunch of stuff, so if ever you're going to check that out, it's worth doing it now. Also, members and patrons, I promised you a video yesterday, which is coming. It's just I've had to re-record some of it, so I need to go away and re-edit the whole thing because as it turns out, right, if you update OBS, sometimes it messes your settings up just a little bit. So I recorded a fairly lengthy video for you like yesterday, intending to put it out as it was supposed to come out yesterday, and I found out that the whole time I was recording through that there. That's a camera. That's not a microphone. I don't even know if that has an actual microphone on it. I don't know if it does or not. All I know is that the entire audio track for 20 plus minutes of recording, which actually was multiple takes, adding up to 20 usable minutes, I reckon. Didn't really get to find out because there was no audio to actually cut down. Yeah, we're having to do the whole thing again. So that's why there's a little bit of a delay. I apologise for that. You will get it eventually. God, the random coughing isn't helping either. Anyway, let me know what you think of that lad in the comments down below. In the meantime, feel free to click all of the things. And yeah, thank you for watching. I'll see you for the next one. It's just getting worse. Worse and worse intros and outros. Just abysmal.